Hello, everybody. I want to welcome you here to Prog Monster. My name is Murph. I am the host of this show, a show dedicated to progressive rock and other forms of rock music. It's Monday night's time for a look back at a classic rock album. This week I have chosen this album, The Police's Synchronicity. Many feel this is The Police's best album. It's not my favorite album by them. It's grown on me over time, though. I think it has stood up the best. It's over the, because it's like 40 years, 41 years old going on, 41 years old, this album. I think it stood the test of time better than all of the other Police albums, although they're all great anyways. This is one of the premier bands. When this album came out, I would venture to say this was maybe the biggest band in the world for at least that time period when this album came out. Could be. Definitely was one of the largest bands at that time period. And you know, they went out on the top because this album was number one in Britain. It was number one in the United States on the Billboard Top 100, 200. It's been number one in a lot of places, and probably, I don't know how many copies it sold. I know it did eight times platinum in the States alone, so I'm thinking it's probably in the 15, 16, maybe even higher millions. But they went out on top because this was their last studio album. It's a shame because I think they could have done, like, they had just started to change their style with this album too. They went from those first four, which had a lot of kind of reggae stuff going on, to a lot less, and this became a lot more poppy, but a lot more synthy as well. I think Rush loved it so much they decided to become just like them. Anyways, definitely a killer album. Oh, I put my glasses on too soon. I have to read you the information on the album. So this album was released June the 17th, 1983. Was recorded at Air Studio in Montserrat, Spain, and at Les Studio in Quebec, Canada. Length 39, almost 40 minutes in length on the A&M record label. I think all of their stuff was on A&M. And produced by the Police and Hugh Padgham. Anyways, appearing on the album, of course, Sting on vocals, backing vocals, bass, keyboards, oboe, drums, and drum machine. And saxophone as well, too. So we did a little bit of everything here. Andy Summers, guitar, keyboards, and he did lead vocals on the song Mother. And then, of course, Stuart Copeland on drums and marimba. So this band went out on top. Still, like, they're all so young looking here too, and that's it, you know, like, was just it for them. Unfortunately, I think they were just hitting their stride. They could have done 5-10 more albums, and they would have been considered arguably one of the best bands of all time. I still think they are anyways. I think there's like 3 or 4 bands that have stayed up in people's sights at a height that is hard to maintain for a very long time. Obviously the Beatles are one of those bands. I think the Police are one of those bands as well. There's a couple of others that I think, Queen, another band that's like that, has stayed in the bomb's eyes of everybody. Yeah, and there's probably others too that I'm not thinking of. But anyways, great album. Lots of stuff on here that's really good. I don't really like the deeper cuts on this album as much, and it might be because I just haven't listened to them enough. That's probably what it is. But I just prefer the bigger hits. This is one of those bands whose big hits are their best stuff, right? Synchronicity, the first one, so killer. Fast pace, lots of guitar parts here, really catchy hooks on here, this is a great song. Walking in Your Footsteps, pretty good song. Oh My God, this one is okay as well. I don't mind this. Mother, of course, is the one that Andy Summers sings. Different. Mrs. Grandenko, not one of my favorite tracks, but I don't mind it. Synchronicity 2, pretty solid song. I don't think it's as good as the first Synchronicity, the number one. That one, to me, is a top shelf song. Every Breath You Take, this one gets a little bit of notoriety as to be to people a stalking song, but really they've misinterpreted what they're saying. I understand people have taken it out of context. It's unfortunate that they think that way about it, but I don't think it's like that at all. I think it's just a fantastic tune. King of Pain, which may be my favorite song on this album. It's one of my favorite Police songs all together. Just has a really catchy melody, a really great set of hooks on it, and the vocals are fantastic as well. And the next song, Wrapped Around Your Finger, this is very, to me, has the same kind of feel as that King of Pain, but it's a little bit slower, a little bit more melodic. Really great song though. Tea in the Sahara, that's okay. And Murder by Numbers, that's pretty strong song as well. So overall, I find this album to be really good. I don't think it's my favorite of theirs. I think it actually probably rates in about the middle of the pack. But for most people, this is kind of the go-to album. This is the one that has those songs that have been still playing all the time. I mean, all their albums have that. So anyways, great album. I hope you liked this episode of Look Back at a Classic Rock Album. I didn't really kind of break the songs down like I normally do. I don't really think of the Police as being a band that you should do that with. It's more about the melodies and the hooks and the great lyrics and Sting's fantastic vocals, as well as the great instrumentation that you hear too. So anyways, if you like this, please hit the like and subscribe. Make your comments in the comments below. Don't forget the notification bell up here, and we will see you next week when we will come back with another classic rock album that we will be looking at. So take care and have yourself a good night.